Hey, so I'm glad you're joining me today. If you're watching this video, then I'm betting that you've got an interest in Raleigh, North Carolina. Maybe you're moving here, or maybe you're thinking about living in Raleigh. So today we're going to talk specifically about North Hills. We're going to talk about what's going on. We've got two sides of North Hills. Right now we're on the older side, or the main side. And then we're going to talk about the North Hills east side and the development plans all the way up St Albans. Along the way, we'll talk about key neighborhoods on both sides. So let's get right to it. Just to my left here, this is the old Pennies. And John Kane, the developer of North Hills, has torn down the JCPenney's parking lot and the JCPenney's building, which is the last building that was part of the old North Hills Mall. North Hills used to be an indoor mall, one of the first malls in Raleigh. So the Pennies is coming down, and there's going to be a 10-story tower that's going to go up there. It's going to be called One Main North Hills, and it's going to be spectacular. There's going to be a Restoration Hardware with a rooftop restaurant. Should be their flagship store. This should really be the finishing play on this side of North Hills. And it should really bring it all together. There are 894 homes on this side of North Hills. This is the original North Hills, and the subdivision is actually called North Hills. It was built in the early 60s. Most of the homes were built really around 1969, 1970. And today, the older homes, the smaller ones that you'll see, sell between $550,000 and around $650,000. And the larger one we just passed, that was for sale for $1.6 million. Passing the North Hills Club now. And North Hills Club is a staple on this side of North Hills. Really nice swim and tennis club. You've got a newer house and lots of older properties. So these properties you can pick up for, like I said, anywhere between $550,000 and $650,000 generally. So they represent a good value, and the location is really good. Super convenient to North Hills, walkable definitely. We're going to cut over now. We're on the main side, but I'm going to cut back over to the North Hills east side, which is really just jumping across Six Forks here. My back, you can see the Bank of America Tower. I believe that's an 18-story tower. But we're approaching right now at this intersection. We've got the 440 Beltline, and the building under construction right now is the Walter building, and that's actually going to be a 35-story building, and it'll have a heavy residential presence in this building. Maybe all residential, actually. So it's a 35-story building. That will be one of the taller buildings really in the city. I believe the tallest building is the PNC building. I think it's just under 500 feet. And for those of you who don't know, North Hills is one of the higher points in Raleigh. So this building, you'll be able to see from a long way away. So it's pretty cool. Farrior Hills is an older neighborhood, about 184 homes in this area. It's on the North Hills east side. This neighborhood sells for the highest premium of all in North Hills right now. Lots are going for at least $600,000, and homes are selling for up to $2.6 million. All right, we're on St Albans Drive now. This is really the last leg of all the construction that's going to occur over here. And I'll tell you, it's probably the biggest leg of all. Right now I'm passing the new Cardinal Tower, which is going to be a senior living center, which I'm not sure how many stories that building is. It's going to be big though. But the end of phase one, so on the St Albans side, Kane purchased 33 acres, I believe. And phase one was the Vine Apartments, pretty massive apartment project. Phase two that's getting ready to start there's some more apartments that are coming, but there's also going to be a 20,000 square foot food hall that'll be right here before you get to the stop sign at Hardemont. And there'll also be an 18-story tower, and it'll be called North Hills Tower 5. And the new apartments that'll be right there at Hardemont will be the Channel House apartments. So that's it for phase 2. Phase 3, I believe, starts summer 2022. There'll be 2 towers that will face the Beltline. Tower 5's one of them, and then the second tower. I don't know if you can see that shot over here, but the parking lot we're looking at right here is really, this is part of another phase. This is called Midtown Exchange, and this is a project that DeWitt's doing, and this is a $1 billion+ project that is gonna, I think it's 7 to 10 year project. But as you can see, North Hills, the tallest building under construction, that's the Walter, that's the 35-story building. And what you're looking at, all of these buildings are essentially North Hills East. If you remember, on the other side, the main part of North Hills, told you about the new building that's going up. I guess it was a 10-story building with residential hardware is the anchor. That will probably be the first building you can see on the skyline here. This project that DeWitt's doing, this parking lot, is actually largely for the construction traffic. I mean, construction people that are going to be working on this project. So this is a massive, massive project right here. And this whole area, this whole corridor along St Albans all the way up to North Hills, where you can see the skyline, is almost going to be a city within a city. So really massive project. What they've got planned for this area is going to be 700,000 square feet of office space. There's going to be a convention center. There'll be 7+ acres of green space with a lot of walkways, park areas, a lot of features that really connect to the greenway. So the city's really incorporated a lot of the greenway into this whole project. That was a key negotiation point. There'll also be 125,000 square feet of retail and restaurant space below the buildings on the DeWitt project. So 125,000 square feet of restaurant and retail. There'll be 300 hotel rooms and 1,275 apartments. Again, 1,275 apartments just on the DeWitt project here. And this part will connect to Kane's 33 acres. And there'll also be a 300-room senior living facility here, 300-room senior living facility. So big project going on right here. And to the right here, that you can't see, but I will show you, is the North Raleigh Hilton. And Kane owns that North Raleigh Hilton, and he also owns some apartments back here. And I understand that'll be the very last leg after all this is done. So we could be talking 10 years from now, maybe less, but that would actually be the last phase of completing all this. But the whole area, the whole North Hills area, I think before we talk about North Hills, you have to really understand the development that's going along here. And this area that we just saw all runs against the 440 belt line. And once you get across the 440 belt line, you're into what's called ITB, or Raleigh's Inner Belt Line, and that's Raleigh's most desirable area to live. So you can kind of get a feeling for how Kane has transformed this whole area with what he's done at North Hills. So I think it's really great. Woods of St Albans is a very small neighborhood, about 50 homes, located right off St Albans Drive, built in around 1995. And homes here would probably sell for anywhere from $600,000 to $750,000. Eastgate is a neighborhood that's just up from Woods of St Albans, and here you'll find the most value-priced homes with actually a really great location. The neighborhood was built in the early 60s. There's around 205 homes in the neighborhood, with a median sales price over the last 6 months of $440,000. Quail Hollow is another neighborhood that's highly desirable in the North Hills area. 372 homes in this neighborhood. Neighborhood was built in the early 70s. Median price for a home here is $565,000 over the last 6 months. Hickory Hills is a neighborhood that lies in between Eastgate, Farrior Hills, and Quail Hollow. And there are 292 homes in the neighborhood. Neighborhood built early 70s, and the median price for a home over the last 6 months was $565,000. There are additional neighborhoods in the area, but these are some of the key neighborhoods that surround what's going on at North Hills.